Do you know what a graph like this is called? A graph like this one is called a scatter plot. A scatter plot is a plot of all the ordered pairs in a table. So we can say that every single point that's on this graph represents an ordered pair. Here's a table of values. You can see that each of these values is an X and a Y in the table. And so each line forms an ordered pair. Now we can graph these ordered pairs and create a scatter plot. Let's do that. Here are the ordered pairs that have been graphed. Now notice that in this case the table of values is a function, but in a scatter plot the table of values doesn't necessarily represent a function. It does, however, represent a relation. And we can also draw a line of best fit, a line that we think is going to catch the most points on this graph. We could say that that's a line of best fit for this graph. Let's look at another table. Here's this other table of values. Now let's graph these ordered pairs and see what our scatter plot looks like. Here's an example of a scatter plot with a relation that is not a function. Notice there are two values at 0, 1 and 3. So this scatter plot represents a relation but not a function. We can draw a line of best fit to connect as many of these points as we can. Here's a line of best fit on this scatter plot. Let's look at another scatter plot. Here's a scatter plot that shows a relationship between the hours of study that a person does and a score on a test called the Regents. We can draw a line of best fit for this data. Here's a line of best fit. It's difficult to tell because there are points above the line and below the line. But there are these 2 points which are actually on the line. And this is still the line of best fit for this data set. Let's look at another one where it's a little clearer. This scatter plot was created on a calculator, and you can see that they have already drawn the line of best fit through the middle of the data set. Here's a scatter plot. Let's draw a line of best fit for the data. Now, could you write the equation that goes with this line? Well, to do it, you know we're going to need a slope and a y-intercept, and we're going to need 2 points on the line. There's a point here and a point here. The first point is at 0, 2, and the second point is at 1, 3. Now that we have 2 points identified, we can work on figuring out the slope of the line and then the y-intercept to write our equation. Let's figure out the slope first. We can use the following formula to find the slope of a line when we have been given 2 points on that line. The slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now let's use the ordered pairs and fill in the values. The slope of this line is 1. Now we already know that this line intersected the y-axis at 0, 2. So 2 is our y-intercept. Now we can write the equation of the line. And we write it in slope-intercept form. Y equals x plus 2 is the equation that goes with our line of best fit.